I will start recording. I'm going to say what day it is because before.
Okay. Let's
July
get.
7th. It's Sunday, July 7th.
Yes, Sunday, July the 7th.
And so today, it's just 2 eyes, except because I have dual citizenship, I will be the third eye.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that.
It wasn't able to join us. He's got some health issues.
Yeah.
I will speak on behalf of the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that.
Since I am bi.
Yeah.
So, I greeted you earlier. I don't know if you understood me. I don't know how the audio is at your end.
It's okay. It's okay.
I greeted you with, hello, love.
That did not come out clear, to be honest with you. That was like, huh? What the hell's going on here? So why is that screeching?
How are you, Governor? How are you, Governor, today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
How's that? Pretty fake accent, right?
Yeah, you could say that. So what do you want to talk about today then?
Well, I think we might disappoint Scott. He was hoping we'd get into a heated argument about China.
Yeah, to be honest, that's been... To be honest, baby, that country is like a weird... It's like a weird... I don't know how to describe that, China. Let me tell you a little personal story about me and China. To be honest, you know my certain fascinations, don't you?
I know what? Sorry?
You know my certain fascination with regards to the opposite gender.
Asian women. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, you know that. So that's been on for quite since my late teens. So there's a little confession. And to be honest, that country politically it's one of those things that I can't quite put my finger on. And I've been having doubts with it for quite some time. Especially when you hear conflicting news reports with regards to the Uyghurs and the even the Hong Kong protests as well. A few years, not just a few years ago, but also recently with regards to its foreign meddling as well. The National Endowment for Democracy.
Wait a minute, which protest?
The Hong Kong protests. I think it's around a few years ago and recently. And how the the National Endowments for Democracies got involved in that. So there's some disinformation with regards to certain Chinese political issues. That's the one thing we can agree on.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I think we agree on most things. But I know your main concern. You've got a few concerns about China. The main one, I guess, is the Uyghurs. Because,
the Uyghurs is another one.
Right? Is that your main concern?
That one and Sino-Israeli relationships as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because that's another bugbear of mine. Because Israel, as we know, has been instrumental in regards to what's been happening in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And not necessarily, obviously, for the better, but as you can tell, for the worse. And I'm just concerned with what the implication of that would be in regards to strengthening Israel, where if people, countries make investments into Israel, especially with the BDS movement, and how that intends to, stifle investment into Israel.
Yeah, I understand that. Any business that's thrown Israel's way just strengthens them. I get that. But I guess, in diplomatic circles, real diplomacy isn't what the U.S. does, where they just ignore people or blockade, countries.
Yeah, I understand that aspect of criticism as well, especially when you used to be more direct in a militaristic, negative way. So I totally understand that as well. That I have no problems with in terms of obviously agreeing with you in terms of what's happening there and what the US has been doing with regards to the Middle East for Israel's sake, especially.
So I know you're concerned about Israel dominating or having too much influence
too much
on China and Russia and their policies.
Yeah,
but I think those countries, Russia and China, are trying to talk to Israel because Israel is a country and it's a big player. And
I understand that part of it too, but like I said, that's still a concern because you never know what's going to happen, especially a few years down the line. But the only thing political commentators and journalists and everyone else can do is trying to read between the lines and see what happens and report what's been actually happened as of now. So I'm to be honest, I do hope. I'll be honest with you, I do hope I'm wrong with regards to any skepticisms I have with regards to what's been happening with Israel and China and Russia especially. So that I do hope, but I just really don't know entirely at the moment.
Yeah, so the problem with Israel, as far as the U.S., is Israel is practically dictating what U.S. policy is in the Middle East, and not just the Middle East in a way,
Everywhere else, it's very clear cut. U.S. and U.S.-Israeli relationships, very clear cut. It's very obvious to point out, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so I hope that won't be the situation with Russia and China.
Same here.
So Russia and China actually have been, I don't know if this is the right term, the bulwark or the one defense against Syria, what the U.S. and Israel wants to do to Syria and Iran. So Russia and China do stand up against the U.S.
In that aspect, with regards to the Middle East, I understand that. I understand why Syria and Iran chose China and Russia in terms of their defenses against the US and Israel aggression. So that's totally understandable, especially with the destruction that's been happened over the years. Pardon me, just I'm actually drinking.
What are you drinking? Is it alcohol?
No, it's appetizer, spritzer, apple and passion fruit.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can you see?
Is it product placement?
No, I'm not shilling. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not shilling any products now, but there you go. For those who are interested.
Okay. Got it. I was hoping you were drinking.
The funny thing is it's produced by Coca-Cola, so we're off to a good start. We're off to a good start.
That's enough of that. That's enough of that. You're a shill, Abdul.
Yeah, you can call me a sellout while you're at it. Start chucking stones at me.
Oh, what I was going to add about Syria, and because I'm older, I remember, Syria has a long-time alliance with Russia.
They do.
With Russia, the Soviet Union. Yeah, so the Soviet Union had alliances with countries like Syria and Iraq, Libya, and so they often supplied military equipment.
Yeah, I remember that because Mariam Suzli, aka Partisan Girl, was making mentions of that on a Twitter feed.
Okay. Partisan Girl,
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that Israel won't, as I said before, control Chinese and Russian.
Or at least have anything negative happens, because you don't know. Politics is a messy field to get into, and even I'll be honest, even I make mistakes on this one or any other situation. I'm not going to lie about that. But But the matter of fact is, sorry to interrupt, but the matter of fact is about trying to get to the bottom of the rabbit hole and see what's the root cause of all these issues.
That was going to say. I'm kind of out of it. We just don't know what's going to happen. I know. I was going to say, we know the U.S. is kind of in desperation mode.
They are. You can tell they are.
It's crazy. Yeah.
You can definitely tell they are without a shadow of a doubt. Especially with what's happened in Venezuela a few months ago. And Iran and all these other countries with regards to what? Excuse me. With regards to how US is dealing with them at the moment, and they're obviously not pleased about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of a failed coup, and people, you don't hear. There are actually negotiations going on behind the scenes in Norway.
Yeah.
You don't hear too much about that. The Maduro's government is actually negotiating with, I guess, Guaido's people, maybe other people, I don't know, in Norway. Norway is hosting that.
Norway's hosting that.
And the Maduro government thinks that they can come to some agreement with the opposition by the end of this year, I think, is what.
Yeah. Because that's a pretty interesting little situation we have there with regards to Venezuela. I'm actually noting this down, by the way, because that's something that needs to be researched on, I think. For sure.
Yeah, they're not going to give up, though, because Pompeo is still pushing propaganda that we need to liberate Venezuela.
Yeah, they're obviously going for the kill. Pardoning any puns there, but yeah.
Well, the sanctions are getting worse. I mean, that's the real problem, is the economic warfare against Venezuela.
Yeah, that and Iran as well.
Yes, the sanctions really hurt ordinary people. They don't.
They don't hurt countries. They hurt people at the bottom end of the socio-economic ladder.
And they're hurting Cuba too, because the sanctions affect Cuba.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess our focus was going to be about China. So as you know, I've just discovered that everything about China, I have to assume that in the mainstream media
it's very, I understand your skepticism there. Because, to be honest, I've got a lot of catch up to do with regards to political videos on yours and Scott's side. Because I've been focusing on with real life issues and my writing as well. So that I have to definitely catch up on. But I've been seeing your work, and I say go for it. I say continue, because the sooner we solve this issue, or issues I should say, the better. With regards to, like I said, getting to the bottom of the ladder, or of the bottom of the rabbit hole, I should say.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty recent for me. I only realized it when they were the anniversary of Tiananmen Square on June 4th.
Yes.
That's when I realized there were lots of lies about China. Just not that.
There's even a WikiLeaks published article or something like that saying that it didn't happen.
Yes.
That's what I've been seeing as well.
Yeah. So I don't believe anything until I check into it. Another thing that's raised a red flag with me is a lot of this information that sort of disputes the conventional narrative about China. It disappears from online.
That's another thing.
It's hard to access. So
that's another one as well. Although I've been hearing the opposite, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Because you just see conflicting issues and reports saying that one side's been having information disappeared, and the next thing you know, the other side's having their information disappearing as well. Speaking of that, I think there's a mid-press news article that was that was basically having half of the information missing on one occasion.
Right. I forget there was an article Scott had cited. What was it about?
I can't remember. Someone who went by the pseudonym The Populist actually mentioned this to me. I can't remember the article, the exact one, but it's definitely on Minpress News.
What was it? Yeah, and I had checked, and Scott was right. And then after I tweeted about that, the Populist. So he's Italian.
Yes.
He sent me a message and he said, "Oh, the article was back up." I'm going, "Oh, okay." And
then that is fishy.
Whitney Webb, who works for Mint Press News, she saw my tweet and said, "Oh, it was probably some server problem or something on Mint Press News." So I don't know.
You never know. So some of these takedowns masquerade as something else, like Twitter. Twitter being one perfect example of that. Shadow bans. And
I think I mentioned to you there have been some articles I've tried to access on the New Eastern Outlook site.
Yeah, you said you've been. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
you said
weird.
Yeah, you've been accessing on certain browsers, yet you're still having issues. I've noticed that, and even on Google sites, when you go into Google sites through a non-Google browser like Mozilla Firefox, certain features are broken on YouTube, and there's actually a YouTube video. Yep, there's actually a YouTube video talking about that.
Oh, I know I've used Firefox before, and I remember I did occasionally encounter problems. This was a few years ago. So you find that sometimes with YouTube, things are broken or links are broken or something?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. As a matter of fact, I'll probably show you the video right now. Can I do?
Oh, right. You can. Yeah, you have more. You can do more with Skype than I can. I can't do certain things.
Share screen. Hold on. Excuse me. Let me share my screen for a moment.
Okay.
Because I know what the video is, regards to site compatibility and stuff like that. Whoops.
Yeah.
YouTube. Let me stop typing too fast. There we go. Hold up. Come on, don't be so slow. Here is this video called "How Google is Building a Browser Monopoly."
Yeah.
And in that video, it talks about how Google's manipulating their own sites to ensure that only Google browsers like Google Chrome can access Google services like YouTube and Google Mail properly without any issues.
I see.
So there's that. It's just messed up, to be honest with you. Can I stop that now? There.
Okay.
That's done. Hold up. F11. There you go. Back to full screen now.
What are you using?
I'm still using Linux.
No, I mean, which device are you using?
Which lights? Beg your pardon?
Which device are you using for the Skype chat? Is it your smartphone?
No, I'm using my laptop. I've been using my laptop all this time. Well, except for the first few times we conversed with each other through, back in, when was it? February this year, when I was actually using my phone.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't record the earlier conversations. So that's...
You're still trying to bring something up on the screen to share?
No, I'm finished now. As a matter of fact, share screen is disabled. Share screen is disabled on my side.
Oh, okay. I got it. Oh well.
There we go.
Whoops.
That's done. No, I was double checking the settings.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to bring up? Because to be honest, the main thing was about my concerns with Israel and Sino-Russian relationships. That was my main issue. That's been basically my bugbear for quite some time. It's one of those things.
I think it's a question how much influence Israel will have on China and Russia.
Yeah.
I guess that we don't really know.
Yeah, it depends on how. You can find out once things actually have happened for sure. But at the moment, the only thing we can do is just, like I said, report what's happening so far.
But you do wonder about the Uyghurs, and
I've seen the Journal Neo article.
There's a lot of propaganda about the Uyghurs.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on there, that's for sure.
Yeah, so there's this, I guess the U.S., the West, wants to radicalize the Uyghurs and try to use that to destabilize China or in Xinjiang province, I guess.
That's what I've been hearing. Apparently there's reports in Syria as to how they've gone over to, the Middle East, especially in Syria.
I do remember that there were some Uyghurs who got swept up after 9/11 in Afghanistan. So that is Central Asia. They're Central Asian, so Afghanistan is kind of like Central Asia.
Neighbouring Pakistan, all these countries. And Afghanistan also has a rich history as well.
Yeah, I actually did some postgraduate research in Afghanistan. It's a very interesting country.
Yeah.
And they have a sort of an Asian-looking minority there.
They do.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Because I believe they're quite close to the Soviet Union and the countries within there. It wouldn't surprise me if some of the folks from the Soviet Union or the ex-Soviet Union emigrate over to Afghanistan.
There are, like, Afghanistan is a mix of people. So they got the Pashtuns.
Yeah, the Pashtuns,
They got Tajiks.
Tajiks,
and the Hazara. Yeah, what else? Oh, and there's, I don't know, there's probably some others in there.
Yeah.
So China, of course, they know how the U.S. and the West operate in destabilizing countries.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them to be very vigilant and cautious about the Uyghurs, and but I think there is a lot of money pumped into Xinjiang province. I think the Chinese government, I think, is trying to improve the economy there, and half the population, I think, is Uyghur in Xinjiang.
Yeah, most of them, I believe.
Well, yeah, we have. And actually, people think that the Han Chinese have only arrived recently, but that's been part of the Chinese Empire for hundreds of years. Really. So Chinese have been there for a long, long time. It's not like they just arrived at all.
Because I need to look. That's one of the parts I need to look into that for sure. What else was there?
Has such a long, rich history. So it's a huge country. It always has been. Yeah,
it's a really huge one. And speaking of that, Eric Prince and his Frontier Services Group. That's what's he doing in China, in that area?
I'm not sure because have you seen it in more than one report about his involvement somehow in China? I don't know.
Not yet. I need to look into that because that's a bit of a head scratcher as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on the Uyghurs or any of that. It's just part of the big picture for me.
It's one of those things
surrounding China. Yeah,
definitely.
So everything is very questionable. I guess I would call it like they've astroturfed. The West has astroturfed information about China. They've put out so much propaganda. It's hard to find out what's true.
Yeah, it's like
It's
like the shit got mixed in with diamonds. That's the only way I can describe it.
So I'm just trying to find out. I'm just trying to find out all the lies.
I don't blame you.
What's true?
I don't blame you, and to be honest, I understand the skepticism. I understand the doubts that we all have here in regards to the political landscape. Because I don't know, I don't even know what else to say. And sometimes I have to ask questions out loud, just to help find out with what's true and all false, for that matter.
But I know they have poured in a huge amount of money into buying off so many dissidents like Ai Weiwei, Dalai Lama. It's incredible money.
They do have that, and it is true that it is true that the CIA does have its hands in the Dalai Lama.
And,
so that's what made things a whole lot worse.
The Falun Gong cult. And that's a huge. So there's Shen Yun. They have this dance troupe called Shen Yun that goes on a big tour around the world. And I've been to Shen Yun, and I realized this is propaganda, anti-Chinese government propaganda.
Yeah.
And they have the Falun Gong. They own this TV network called New Tang Dynasty TV, and they created that China Uncensored channel.
Oh,
which also has America Uncovered, and it's pure propaganda. Incredible stuff. They have a news outlet called the Epoch Times.
Yeah, I've seen that
network too. So Falun Gong is a big CIA asset, and wow.
Yeah. All of it is blue tied to it.
Yeah, and then there's this hoax. They said, the Chinese government is harvesting the organs of Falun Gong and people, and that's not true. Even the U.S. Embassy in Beijing said that's a lie. That's a hoax. That's not true.
Well, I'll have to see that one. Because that's a new one that's came across my radar.
So anyway, so I started down this rabbit hole with Tiananmen Square and the Hong Kong protest. That's when I realized, it's all fake.
And then you gotta start all over again with regards to building up that information. It's not that easy to unprogram, to basically start again from scratch once you see how things are different to what you believed for all this time.
Yeah, I used to believe all that. Yeah, I did. And it's kind of like Russia. There's so many lies put out there about Russia.
The Russian history would be one example in the US. Russian collusion, Russian meddling.
Yeah. So what is the connection? Okay, why Russia and China? Well, who are the big rivals in the world? Russia and China.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I remember on Twitter, I kind of threw out at the last minute, I said, isn't it interesting you don't hear this propaganda about India?
India, that is true. I've not seen much mention of that in the mainstream media at all. BBC, Sky News, or any of that for that matter. As a matter of fact, when I usually relax for a bit or do nothing, or when I'm cleaning, for example, I'll just check the mainstream news, see what's happening there. Not a single thing in India yet. I haven't seen much on RT either, for that matter, or Press TV.
Yeah, you don't hear too much about India. I think you've been concerned. India, the Indian government has gotten closer to Israel too.
Yeah, to be honest, that to me is very, very obvious, especially Narendra Modi and Netanyahu, and what they've been doing with Kashmir for all this time. I did suggest an account who's actually looked up the information in regards to India and Kashmir.
Yeah.
And how Pakistan got dragged into it. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, so India has a Hindu fundamentalist government.
Yeah. And a very savage one at that, to be honest with you.
So if you're not Hindu, the overwhelming majority of people in India are Hindu, but they have a huge Muslim population and a significant Sikh population too, and they're not treated.
To be honest, India's had this like caste and socio-economic issues for all this time, and it still plagues them. That's the sad stuff.
Yeah, India is extremely poor. The poverty there is even worse than in sub-Saharan Africa. People don't realize that. Very, very poor.
Yeah.
And what is it about India? It's been neoliberalized, and it's
yeah. The divide is very clear. The rich-poor divide. Yeah. That is a hallmark trait of a very savage capitalist or neoliberal.
Yeah.
Economy.
So Russia and China are capitalist countries, but they haven't been neoliberalized the way India has.
No, they still have some state control. It's like Yuri Bezmenov would describe it, a state-centric, state capitalist society in terms of its economic and financial distribution and structure.
I think China's poverty, they are working hard at eliminating poverty in the country, and it's not an easy task with such a huge population, but they actually are working hard at living standards there after all the, they're not communist anymore. This is what's so stupid. You still hear people saying, oh, communist China. Well, the party's name is still communist, but it's like saying, the Democratic Party, they're not democratic, and the Republican Party in the U.S., it's not.
I see that analysis, yeah.
It's just a name.
Where its origins came from, but that's what it is, isn't it? Is there anything else you want to say on the matter, or anything else that you want to bring up?
No, I think. Are you happy with what you said? I don't know if there's anything else you want to.
I'm perfectly fine with what's been said here, to be honest.
I think we really disappointed Scott because he thought we were going to really go.
Yeah, we're going to start bringing out swords. And as a matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Water guts.
What do you have? You got a water gun? You were ready.
Not for me, but
You were ready. Locked and loaded. You were locked and loaded.
A water fight.
Well, I told Scott I don't think it's going to happen because we like each other too much. So I don't think it's going to.
I like Scott too much as well. I have a soft spot for both of you, to be honest. Even though we have, some divergences in political views and analysis, so.
Yeah, Scott is very patient with a broader range of views than I am. I'm a bitch.
But he's like the unexpected one. You don't know when he's gonna bite back. Don't poke the dog.
I have a line. I have to tell you, I have a line. If any Muslim crosses me, I'm going to say, God might be great, but you sure ain't. How's that?
Yeah.
God might be great, but you sure ain't.
Hits the nail on the head there.
Oh well. We've gone over like a little over a half hour, and I said we don't have to do this too long. I think that's reasonable.
We're hitting between 30 minutes and an hour, so that's a pretty good length.
Yeah,
I have to say.
So if you're happy, if you've had your say and I've had my
say, I've had my doubts brought to the table and sorted out. Have you had any questions or doubts on the table that you've felt that need to be,
I'm not saying that China is perfect. Of course there are problems, like in any country, but I just want to get rid of all the lies.
Dude, that's what it is. It's what makes things much, much worse with regards to what's factual and what's not.
Yeah. It does make it worse when they have plastered the media with propaganda, then you can't legitimately criticize a country.
Yeah, and it all goes back to the Middle East and goes to Libya and Iran. Well, Iraq as well. Well, Iran as well, but to the previous countries that's been befallen with the actual regime change, only for the countries to get worse.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I think we're done here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm happy. Scott's going to be so disappointed, though.
Yeah,
he really is.
he will be. But what can you do? We'll have to entertain Scott somehow. We definitely won't be in this video, but he's had some nasty bronchitis. That's a YouTube strike there.
There, that's to make Scott happy.
Yeah, that was much needed. Abdul, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Oh, hey, right back at me. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now. So
Same here.
Good, and I hope Scott gets better.
Yeah, I'll second that because he's had some.
Hope he can join us next week. But this is good. I think we should just keep doing this every week.
Yeah.
And whoever
just to round up what's been happening politically.
Yeah.
On that note, take care.
Okay,
Bye.
so I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Yeah, let's do it.